All right, Lance versus Rick, session 14.1. Fuck. Lance versus Rick, session 14.1. Fuck. Lance versus Rick, session 14.1. There you go.
Hey!
Yay. All right, so this is a special sit-down edition of Lance versus Rick because Lance is at the point in the painting where he needs to do a lot of close, detailed work on my face, and we can't be standing up and yelling at each other. And in fact, we booked some talent to come in and yell at Lance so I could keep my face still, but the talent didn't make it. So we're going to try to do a special calm, seated edition where there's not a lot of yelling, so Lance can do my face.
Wait a minute. I thought you said there was going to be a lot of yelling and hitting this time.
No, because then you have to read it so much.
All right, fair enough.
So, it's I do have a zit on my butt that's gonna. Well, I guess it'll keep me alert. It's been 108 degrees in the valley, and I have no flesh on I have no butt, so it gets zitty.
Would it be okay? Would you mind if I kind of sucked the pus out of the zit for you?
I just don't think it would be a satisfying aesthetic experience because since I have no butt, I have that old man butt that starts to kind of drape and fold towards the crack area like an elephant butt.
Ooh. Well, I'm sorry about that.
Well, it's what happens when you get older and you have no butt.
All right. Well, the offer is out there.
That's all right.
So, did we have a topic that you felt you wanted to discuss?
Yeah. People who've been watching this have seen that you're a skilled debater. And I do a lot of fumfering, which is like sentences that kind of roll along fitfully like a tumbleweed. So, but my question for you is, and I'll explain, I know why I am doing this project.
Okay.
And why I engage with people online via Twitter, because I'm trying to increase my social media presence to the point where a publisher will offer me a book deal. I have two book proposals. One is a memoir about how I spent 10 years as a high school senior. I just kept going back to high school again and again and again, from the late 70s into the late 80s. I was a high school student by day and a bouncer and a stripper by night.
I think it would be a fascinating book.
And then I have another book called How to Be a Fucked Up Genius, because I have the highest IQ in America and the second highest IQ in the world. And I'm also kind of a mess. So, I think I could offer some lessons in genius, lessons in like looking like appearing to be a genius even when you're not, and lessons in how to really fuck up even if you are a genius.
So having the highest IQ in America does not preclude you from having a pimply butt.
Right. It's a dumb error.
In a way, wouldn't it be sort of, inevitable that you would have a pimply butt if you had the highest IQ in America? I mean, wouldn't those two things sort of go together?
Well, Einstein talked about the one reason for his genius was he had something called Sitzfleisch, which is German for sitting flesh, which is the ability to sit on your ass and think for hours at a time. So yeah, being a genius and sit zits do go together.
Hey,
but
all right.
Since I'm not as geniusy as Einstein, for every smart thing I do,
don't sell yourself short.
For every smart thing I do, I do two or three dumb things. And one dumb thing I do is I'm too lazy to. I usually get 2 days wear out of my underwear. In the morning I pick the underwear off the floor and I give it a whiff, and if it seems passable, then so that's probably a reason for some sit-sits.
Wow.
But anyway. I go on Twitter and I find stuff to make fun of, and then I write jokes about that stuff. and because I try to increase my Twitter following, and I blog on various social media, and we're doing this thing. And eventually I want to have enough of a social media presence that a publisher will think, hey, he's got enough of a following that he'll be able to sell some books, because that's how publishing works now, that like all print media, any medium that's actual ink on actual paper is in trouble. So that they're very risk averse. So they want you to have a built-in following. Like, I don't know, Sarah Silverman got a $3 million advance for her book. I'd like to get any advance whatsoever. So we're doing this project, I'm tweeting, blogging, doing all that stuff. But you, Lance, apparently every night or most nights, a lot of nights, you are, I guess, up late just arguing with people, debating with people on the internet about political stuff. And why the hell would you subject yourself to that? It's not going to help you be successful as an artist. It just seems like a big aggravation, because internet commentary is a swamp of a-holes.
Well, everybody tells me that I'm crazy for this. Like, everyone is more internet wise than I am, and they all know that you're not supposed to. They're all sort of beyond arguing on Facebook. And when I hear somebody say something wrong, historically wrong, I always have this Boy Scout quality that says, no, I can't let that go out and have more people believe it, because that will just contribute to the massive ignorance in this world. And so it's literally, there's a famous saying that a rabbi had, that he had his bad intentions under control. It's his good intentions that get him into trouble. And so that's what happens. I go on Facebook and I see something that I say, no, this will not stand. I have to refute this. And it can go on for days, and I don't want to do it. I try to get out, but...
Yeah, but nobody gets anything right in internet comments. Almost like 90% of internet comments have at least one typo or grammatical error. And that's before you get to the factual errors.
No, I have to learn to control myself. But the other problem is this. I thought that you could go on Facebook and actually make friends with people and have polite intellectual discourse. And I find that the very bright people end up being just as rude and insulting and stupid as everybody else. We're filming.
I know, but I'm instructed on what to shoot.
I just had to tell the cameraman to stop whispering.
Hey, I'm not just the cameraman, dude.
He's the director, and he's also the choreographer.
And I may not be here one day. Toby's going to be here, and he'll instruct me how to do it. So you worry about what you're doing, we'll worry about what we're doing.
All right. So, anything more to add about you're trying to improve the state of humanity by basically you're trying to empty a swimming pool with a bucket full of holes.
The thing that
with the swimming pool is filled with internet dumbness.